Said when I said what I said on Twitter and try to provoke him, he don't like when people call him bitches. What I call him, a bitch. I provoke him to do something. Person like I'm a saint, I don't do nothing wrong if you gonna be somebody like do your little dirt and think nobody gonna get back to it.
Amid all the turmoil surrounding him, Gervonta Davis has finally spoken out about his separation from Calvin Ford and explained why his longtime trainer will not be in his corner for the Jake Paul fight. Davis said the tension started when Calvin Ford and Kenny Ellis began letting outside voices and media narratives influence their thinking, which ultimately led to problems within the team.
Position that he's in is to wake the youth up because they have so much to give, but something and all the distraction is taking them away from it. And if you look at his last interview, he said, I really want to get away from them. I'm trying to get what I got to get and get away from them.
He said they approached him earlier this year and complained that he wasn't paying them as much as other fighters pay their trainers, which, in his view, showed they had started listening to outside chatter. Davis also claimed they stepped away during the Lamont Roach fight because he refused to raise their pay. He explained that his relationship with Calvin Ford goes far beyond business, saying he sees him like a father and doesn't only give him money when a fight is scheduled. According to Davis, he supports Calvin regularly, handling his bills, providing cars and homes, and taking care of whatever he needs, describing their bond as more of a father and son relationship than a typical fighter-trainer arrangement.
Too, I just saying, but that's another thing. Calvin is someone that he's like, when I ain't had no pops, Calvin was the person that you feel me, stepped in those shoes. So no matter if he's not my coach, anything like that, he's always gonna be in my life.
That's why he went on to say that Calvin Ford attempted to step in during the Roach fight when things were already close to the end, but he turned him away because, in his eyes, Ford had been absent throughout the entire process. He explained that the moment he shouted at him in the ring happened because Ford wasn't part of his training camp, and he didn't want advice from someone who hadn't prepared him. And even though Calvin Ford and Kenny Ellis later tried to walk back their statements about Tank not paying them, Davis said the situation had already gone too far, and he had no interest in continuing his working relationship with either of them.
There we go again. That's why I don't do interviews anymore, because they always take my word and misconstrue it. You know what I'm saying? When we was talking about individual, we wasn't talking about nobody specific, and we wasn't talking about Tank. Tank's my baby. Tank, Kenny said, out of 100, 2 of them love you. That's one of them that do love you. You know what I'm saying? It ain't.
Rumors began circulating that Calvin Ford, Gervonta Davis's trainer, had not been getting paid for his work. Those claims were later pushed back by Ford himself, who addressed the situation directly during an interview on the Rise podcast. He made it clear by saying, "I'm not going anywhere. I love my job, and I love who I work for." His comments appeared to contradict reports of a professional split, giving the impression that Ford was still connected to Davis's camp, though he avoided discussing any financial details.
When I had to train Tank, when I didn't want him to get in trouble and I wanted to make sure we was together, I used to take him to work with me. And he'd chill. Everybody know him. Everybody know him at work.
Along the same lines, other people close to Davis also dismissed any talk of tension and chose not to go into detail about the financial arrangement between the fighter and his trainer. Kenny Ellis was especially clear, publicly saying he wanted to shut down the storyline about Tank not paying them. "Stop pushing this narrative that Tank doesn't pay me or Calvin," Ellis said. "Every single time I've been in Tank's corner, he's taken care of me, and he'll continue to take care of me. Tank is family for life."
And a fighter. We don't know where this stuff is coming from. It wasn't no reunited. They never separated. You know. I guess it's because of Tank's comment, because he was asked if Coach Calvin was in his corner. He said, "We'll see." Right, because it's nobody's business. But you know, he didn't mean anything by that. You know. Facts. There you go. They forever family.
Because you pulled up with just somebody else. You didn't even pull up with your team. You pulled up with. We ain't see Calvin. Yeah.
Calvin was there.
Okay.
Calvin was there.
Okay.
I think he came a little late though. I spoke to him.
Y'all good?
Yeah.
All right, because
I just seen Calvin.
Went on to add that in Baltimore, they don't watch or judge what another man makes, saying it doesn't matter to him if someone is a billionaire because he's not counting anyone's money. He stressed that Tank has always looked out for them and will keep doing so, and he urged people to put an end to that narrative once and for all.
Hey, Tank, real talk. Will Calvin be with you on this fight? Come on, you Tank. Huh? Will Calvin be with you on this fight?
I don't know. You gotta see.
Although Ellis emphasized that Davis has always compensated him for being in his corner, his statement left some ambiguity about whether he's been fully paid during training camps and routine workouts when no fight is scheduled. This latest controversy comes just months after Gervonta Davis entered a training camp without Calvin Ford. Even though the team has tried to keep things under wraps, it's now evident that underlying issues have been brewing since the start of the year.
What? He's a grown man, and he has the right to make the grown man decisions that he wants. So let's get that. Put that up. Everybody's snatching something and don't even have a clue. And that's what I was saying about social media. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have a person say it out their mouth, it doesn't mean anything.
What's going on with the Tank? What's going on with Tank? And are we going to see? And when are we going to see him back?
We got a little legal issue. As soon as they get through the courts, they'll set a date, and all we can do is wait. I don't get into that side. You know what I mean?
I don't want to interfere. He's a grown man and has every right to make his own decisions, he said. Let's be clear. Everyone's snatching at stories without really knowing the facts. That's the problem with social media. If it hasn't come straight from the person, it doesn't mean anything. When asked about Tank and when fans might see him back, he explained, "There's a small legal issue right now. Once it's resolved in court, a date will be set, and all we can do is wait. I don't get involved in that side of things. I just stay with him." This situation, he added, was the inevitable outcome of ongoing, unspoken misunderstandings in Davis's corner dating back to the buildup for the Lamont Roach fight.
Hey, Tank, real talk. Will Calvin be with you on this fight? Come on, you Tank. Huh? Will Calvin be with you on this fight?
I don't know. You gotta see.
What do you think about the guy yelling in the back? Did that kind of get...
The turmoil began when Calvin Ford chose to step away from Tank and shift his focus to working with younger trainers. There were multiple factors behind this, and it's widely known among boxing fans that Tank doesn't always pay his trainers generously. While Ford has repeatedly denied these claims, assuring fans that he and Tank share a father and son bond, meaning he receives whatever he needs rather than a set salary. He eventually grew frustrated with Tank's antics and decided to leave his corner. The situation was clear. Ford was unhappy and started avoiding the training camp. And at that time, Tank wasn't ready to see things from his perspective.
And he know when I go spend time with my piece, I'm going through things. You know what I'm saying? When he was there, at least I know where he was at. Because it was something that we didn't want to do. It was something that we know.
There wasn't an outright argument, but it was obvious that the relationship had cooled. The real tension began on fight night, sparking a rift that eventually led to their official split. Gervonta Davis had chosen to disregard Calvin's advice, feeling that he had been ignored during the crucial build-up to the fight. He felt that Calvin Ford wasn't in a position to give him instructions, especially since he hadn't made the effort to join his training camp. The tension boiled over during one of the later rounds when Coach Calvin advised Davis to be more cautious. In response, Davis shouted, "Calvin, calm down and listen to me," a moment that many in the boxing world viewed as disrespectful.
I was already paying attention to the crowd. You know what I mean? I was more so, it's something we gotta work on in the corner, for sure.
One fan commented, "I feel so sorry for that man. Tank is completely disrespectful and rude, and he really wouldn't be able to do much without him." Another tried to see it from Davis's perspective, saying, "If someone like Calvin Ford did for me what he did for Tank, I'd be forever grateful, and he'd never want for anything in his life." Yet another critic didn't hold back, harshly condemning Davis's behavior and calling him wicked. "Tank is so cruel. I just can't respect someone like that. He's ungrateful despite everything Calvin has done for him." And then he goes on to claim Calvin is like a father to him, They said,
This question is for Coach Calvin Ford. This is Matt from Brunch Boxing.
Well, Matt.
Now, we know that Tank has talked in the past about retiring, leaving the game of boxing. As someone that's had Tank since basically he was a pup and you've raised...
Before their split was made public, the story they shared was that Calvin was merely stepping back, while the overall training setup stayed the same. The reporter clarified that this statement wasn't meant to suggest any real falling out or breakup between Ford and Gervonta Davis. They were curious if the brief separation had strengthened their bond, like family members who spend time apart and then value each other more upon reuniting. Coach Ford responded, "No, he came to check on me, slow down, and worry about me because he knows I spend time with my amateurs. You both know me well. I always dedicate time to my amateurs. That's my piece." Even though he wasn't actively training Tank at the time, just knowing where Davis was and that he was working out gave Ford a sense of comfort and reassurance.
He will always be around, you know what I mean? So that's Pops, like I said. So he'll always be there. Without Calvin, it wouldn't be no me, you know what I mean? Because at first, when I came into the...
He admitted that being apart from Davis gave them both a chance to value their relationship more. When Ford returned to the gym, he could sense that the lightweight champion had missed him just as much as he had missed Ford. A similar sense of reassurance was also expressed by Barry Hunter. "Calvin will be there, Coach Barry will be there, Coach Boogie will be there, and Kenny will be there as well," he said in an interview. Although Calvin Ford and Kenny Ellis won't be in Tank's corner, other coaches will still be present, suggesting it's not a major problem. Hunter also reminded fans that changes in Tank's corner aren't new. He has been part of Davis's team since his amateur days and early career. Like Ford, he pointed out that the internet often spreads misinformation, with people jumping to conclusions without knowing the full story. He stressed that Tank is like family, comparing the bond to the loyalty you find in New York.
Spoke in New York, some of that extra motivation when someone's talking in the crowd.
Like how that bet was.
The two guys, like the bet, is all this stuff kind of added more?
I don't know. You know how people like
Just talking.
The people that come with the
Cards. Judge at the ringside. Eric Marlinski scores it on 115 to 113 in favor of Gervonta Davis. Judges Steve Weisfeld and Glenn Feldman both scored about 114 to 100.
Fans were left reassured, seeing the corner changes as a temporary shakeup that could return to the original setup when Gervonta Davis comes back in a few months. Outside the ring, however, Davis has faced a challenging year. His upcoming fight with Jake Paul now faces serious uncertainty due to a new explosive lawsuit against the lightweight champion. Back in July, Davis was arrested on domestic violence charges related to a June incident involving his ex-girlfriend and the mother of his children. This situation previously led to the postponement and eventual cancellation of his bout against Lamont Roach Jr.
I think Davis did something awful again, and no, it wasn't scheduling another fight with Jake Paul. He beat a woman. Again. And once again, I'm not talking about Jake Paul. If you know Tank Davis, you know he has a lot of run-ins with the law. But this is actually a civil suit over a certain criminal case that was dropped earlier.
Davis is once again facing serious legal trouble after a lawsuit filed on October 30th by his former girlfriend, Courtney Rossell, which accuses him of battery, aggravated battery, false imprisonment, kidnapping, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. According to the lawsuit, Rossell worked as a VIP cocktail waitress at a club called Tootsie's. On October 27th, Davis allegedly entered the club around 4:15 a.m. and attacked her. She claims he choked, grabbed, and dragged her through the kitchen stairwell and back exit, and continued to assault her in the parking garage. Rossell states that she had been privately dating Davis for 5 months, but alleges that he physically abused her on multiple occasions, including making death threats twice.
Movies and dressing up while watching scary movies. And lo and behold, breaking news.
On September 2nd, Davis allegedly threatened to kill her after she didn't respond to his calls and texts. Then, on September 23rd, he reportedly sent another threatening message, texting, "I'll kill you," while accusing Rossell of infidelity, and later physically assaulted her in public at a restaurant called Playa Miami that same day. The lawsuit further claims that an hour after the October 27th incident, Davis texted Rossell, writing, "I'm on my way. Yoya house," which she interpreted as him heading to her home to harm her again. Rossell says she now suffers from severe PTSD due to the abuse and lives in constant fear for her safety. The lawsuit notes that she has sought medical treatment and therapy and requires help with daily living as a result of the ongoing trauma.
He's innocent until proven guilty. This looks really bad for him. While all the details aren't out, we know the details from the original case, which was basically a shut case with a lot of evidence that he did it. That, along with his prior incidents, innocent until proven guilty, but yeah, you know, if you do something.
Gervonta Davis's coach, Calvin Ford, told USA Today that Tank is doing well and expressed surprise over the lawsuit. "He's doing great. Everything's good. That's why we're trying to figure out what's going on," Ford said. Meanwhile, ESPN reports that neither Most Valuable Promotions nor Davis's camp responded to questions about the fight status, leaving fans in radio silence once again as the boxing world waits to see how Davis's latest legal troubles unfold. According to Sports Illustrated's Chris Mannix, Jake Paul's team is now actively looking for a replacement opponent for the November 14th card, a development Mannix shared on X. Legal issues have become a recurring problem for Davis, directly contradicting the World Boxing Association lightweight champion's recent comments about his mental health. This case could have serious consequences for Davis both inside and outside the ring, and may put the Paul versus Tank fight in real jeopardy.
We're gonna believe you did it the 7th. So why is this coming up again? Well, now we talk about Jake Paul. There were a lot of theories that the reason the original charges got dropped, despite it being pretty clear that he was gonna get convicted, was he convinced her to stop pressing charges so that he can actually schedule this Jake Paul.
Jake Paul has admitted that his upcoming fight against Gervonta Tank Davis is making him more nervous than any of his previous bouts. Still, the controversial boxer and content creator insisted that he has a strategy to ensure he shows up in peak form. Paul revealed that he will train with Shakur Stevenson, one of the most skilled and technically proficient fighters today, and a longtime rival of Davis. In an interview with TMZ Sports, Paul confirmed that Stevenson, a 3-division world champion known for his flawless defensive skills, will be joining his training camp in the coming days.
Yeah, in terms of sparring, we got some great guys coming in. Some really experienced southpaws that are smaller. I think Montana Love is coming in. Shakur Stevenson wants to come in. Jermaine Ortiz. We're gonna hit up Erickson, Leuven, some of these guys. So we're just gonna bring in a plethora of fighters.
According to Jake Paul, the plan is to use Stevenson's experience to decode Gervonta Davis's explosive and aggressive style. Shakur has had his run-ins with Tank over the years, so he knows exactly how to prepare me, Paul explained. I'll train with him to learn how to neutralize Davis's power. In addition to Stevenson, Paul is also working with professional boxers Raymond Ford and Montana Love to get ready for the big fight on November 14th at the Kaseya Center. Despite an intense training schedule, Paul admitted he's feeling more nervous than ever. "I'm going to be vulnerable for a second," he said. "Inside, I'm more scared than ever going into this fight. It's crazy. It keeps me up at night." That mix of fear and motivation seems to be driving him. Paul is even willing to adjust his body for the matchup, planning to lose muscle mass to gain speed in order to compete against a smaller but faster and more technical opponent like Davis. He knows that defeating Gervonta Davis could transform his career, so he's devised a clear strategy. "My goal is to take Tank out by knockout, just like I've done with other opponents. I want to prove a lot of people wrong," he said. The showdown between Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis is shaping up to be one of the year's most high-profile events. With the spectacle, the tension, and the unexpected alliance with Shakur Stevenson, the fight promises excitement, and its outcome could reshape the future of modern boxing. For the latest news, highlights, and updates in the world of boxing, stay connected by subscribing to our YouTube channel and turning on notifications so you never miss top-quality content. Until next time, peace out.